All for coming tonight to our candidates night. Thank you again to all the candidates for the different positions running either in state, county, or local elections. Next speaker is Michael Puzio.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Who was here in June when we had the primary? Okay, so
That was quick.
that was good. You got to give me a little bit more time.
I just put it on.
Okay, I'm going to give you a brief synopsis of who I am, what my experience is, because I believe that experience is going to carry this town forward. It's been a rough 2 years for Rockaway Township. I've been serving as your mayor for almost a year now. Mike Datchison, as you know, passed away. I was elected last November, and it's been a very interesting 2 years, to say the least. For the residents who are here, they know exactly what I'm talking about. I believe that we've lost 2 years of time through infighting, through disagreements, through lawsuits, we've lost time. And what's going to get us back on track? What is going to make us make up that time? It's going to be an experienced team. It's going to be the Rockaway First team. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I've been a resident of Rockaway Township for 28 years. My wife is a lifelong resident. Raise your hand, Michelle. She comes to the council meetings to support me and to support what I try to do for the town. My career in politics started with the Board of Education. I served on the Board of Education for 12 years. I have two sons. My older son is disabled. That's what got me involved. I wanted to make things better in Rockaway Township. I served 12 years on the Board of Education, trying to put different programs in place that would help our children, that would make our quality of life for our children in that position better in Rockaway Township. Now, what have I done for our community since then, since being off the Board of Education? I was put on the planning board before I ran for council. And I liked what I saw. I liked working in the community. I liked trying to make improvements. And then I was elected to be a councilman back in 2016. I was elected and I started my career as a councilman. There's a number of initiatives that I would like to establish in what I hope would be my first full term as mayor of Rockaway Township. However, no initiative can be successful without good government. Therefore, my first initiative will be to continue to restore and maintain a cooperative relationship between the mayor, administration, and council that existed before the last 2 years. This means a sharing of thoughts and plans and working across the aisle to do what is best for the township and its citizens. Now, I think that I have not just said the words, but I think that I have walked the walk here in town. Everyone knows that Rockaway Township Green has been my motto, and that I serve all of you, whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, and I don't believe that any one party, I don't look at a party system. I certainly haven't looked at it in this town. So I'm not saying that I believe in a certain thing in bipartisanship. I have lived it. I have supported Democratic candidates as well as Republican candidates. I support who I feel is best for Rockaway Township and who is going to support my town. A second initiative would be to consistent effort by my administration to maintain a high quality of municipal services for the benefit of our citizens, and to do so while stressing efficiency and cost effectiveness. Okay, I want to talk about our budget. Last year, myself and my administration delivered a reduction in the municipal portion of your taxes. A reduction. And that was done through creative planning, through lots of meetings with administration, with department heads. The township, if you look at your bill, for those of you that look into your tax bill, 25%, approximately 25% of your tax bill is controlled by the mayor and the council. The rest of it falls on county tax, and bulk of it is education. So what we did is took that 25% that we control, and it's very difficult because a lot of that is contractual. I settled 3 contracts: police contract, council 6, and contracts and administrative raises. I did all of that in 1 year's time, working cooperatively with our unions, working with our administration to give us a cost reduction on our budget. So I've delivered that. Third, I plan to work with the school districts and attempt to address cost savings that can provide tax relief for the school component of our tax bill. Okay, we just put in SRO, we put an SRO into our school. How did I do that? How did I defray some of the cost? Part of the bill is being paid for by Rockaway Township, by the municipal portion. Part of it is going to be paid for. That's it. Wow, that's not enough time. Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, there's so much to go over. I didn't have a lot of time to go over it. There's so much to go over that I've done in a year. It's hard to capture it all in 5 minutes, but I'll be here and you can speak with me afterwards. We can talk. Thank you.
Next is Mary Noon. Good evening all. Thank you, Pat. Mary Noon. I am running for Ward 1. I am the current council member in Ward 1 after the recall of Vic Palumbo and his resignation. I started attending council meetings. I grew up in Rockaway, went through school in Rockaway, moved away, moved back in 2013 to be a caregiver to my mother who was battling cancer. In 2015, there was a parking issue on my mother's lot, and I started to attend council meetings. And I have attended every council meeting since November of 2015. And then in 2017, wow. So I feel that's my experience. People wanted change. We got the change. I stepped in as got appointed to Ward 1 as a council person and starting to move in the right direction. I'm proud to be part of the Rockaway First team, and I'm proud of all the accomplishments that Joe Jackson and Jonathan Sack and Mayor Puzio, we've started to do the change, and I want to continue to do the change. So walking the ward while doing the recall, there is a lot of concern with the lawsuits. Well, nobody's going to stop the lawsuits, but I think they'll go away on their own. You know, once we get new people, that'll just all go away. So again, I look forward to continuing to serve the Ward 1. I know Peterson Field is a big issue with me. And one of my biggest things that I've seen over the past 2 years that drove me nuts is residents coming up, asking for things, and everything falls on deaf ears. So, no more deaf ears. People will listen. My email is on the website. Email me. My phone number is on the website. Call me. And I look forward to continuing to serve. Thank you. Our next candidate is Joseph Jackson.
Thank you, Pat. First, I'd like to thank Pat for organizing this. She puts in a lot of time. I'm an existing council member at large, and I don't think I've been to a meeting that Pat's not at and Doug's not at. So I round of applause for them for all they do for our community. I'll be running again with my running mates, Howard Kritz, existing Councilwoman Mary Noon, Adam Salberg, and our current mayor, Mike Puzio. I wish all the other candidates good luck in their positions that they're running for. I think, you know, what I'm looking at for Rockaway Township, we're starting to bring the town back together, I believe, and I think we're going in the right direction. And I feel like what I bring to the table and what my running mates bring to the table are several things that are important. Number one, volunteerism, right? Being active in the community for a long time. I've done a lot of volunteer work. I was on the Board of Ed for almost 10 years, coaching youth sports for a long time, member of the Citizen Rec Committee, running the football program. I'm a Rutgers instructor for the town, and I'm a Meals on Wheels driver. Council position is a volunteer position, let's be honest, and it's dedicating a lot of time and being put under the microscope constantly. And so having that background and that experience to be able to handle that is important, I think, in the position. Number two, where, you know, people talk about taxes, everybody wants to save taxes, where are we going to save taxes? I think an important thing to look at, you know, everybody sees Doug does a great job streaming the videos and putting them out there, and everybody sees what goes on in the meetings and the resolutions and the discussions back and forth and the bickering and all those things. But what it really comes down to is, you know, budget time. You know, how do you look at the budget? How do you evaluate expenses month to month? And especially when contracts come up. You know, what do you do with the contracts? How are you going to handle the contracts with the unions? Well, I can tell you, when I was on the Board of Ed, I was a member of the Finance Committee, and I was a member of the Contract Negotiation Committee. So being able to find savings in negotiating contracts and reviewing finances is something I can bring to the table just from doing those things, but also from my background. I've been in business since graduating college. I'm a manager at ADP. So understanding how a budget works and how you manage finances is important. And that's just the reality of the position, because that's really where you're going to save the money. Oh, hey, Manny. You know, let's just say hi, Manny. So I think it's important that, you know, when you're looking for somebody to represent you and what your concerns are, you know, you need to have somebody that really understands how the government works and how finances work and all those things. It's important. And that's all I have to say. I will be here the rest of the night if anybody has any questions. A lot going off. I'm going to give you a couple minutes back, Pat. So thank you, everybody.
Next speaker is Adam Salberg.
Good evening, everyone. Again, Pat, thank you so much for putting it all together. Doug, as always, thank you for the AV. You know, if you know anyone that doesn't believe that their vote matters, that the individual vote really has any effect, strongly suggest you tell them to watch Doug's videos from the last 2 years of council meetings. We know just the impact of what the individual vote is, and that's really what we're out here for, is to talk to you folks about our individual visions, about how we want to give back to the state and our beloved town of Rockaway. You really are currently, Rockaway Township, at a crossroads right now. Most of you have seen the power of individuals that can change things, power of individuals that make things worse, but also much better. But now you have a decision. We have Mayor Puzio in place, we have Council President Sackett, Council Vice President Jackson. But how do we lead the council? How do we fix what was broken? How do we move forward and bring it back to the town, which is desirable, profitable, safe, and the envy of Morris County? Well, I believe that I can bring to the table a lot of the things that can do that. You know, I mentioned 2 years ago at the council meeting, so that's really also the time that I decided to step into this venue. I saw what could be wrong as a resident. I voiced my concerns. I spoke out. I got involved. Of course, with the passing of Mayor Datchison, I stepped up, placed my name in as interim mayor. Due to, I guess, I wouldn't say arrogance, but the non-caring about laws, suddenly I was the interim mayor of Rockaway Township. I was proud to do that. I was able to accomplish in the small time I was there what I set out to do. A lot of you remember this, is I just wanted to set this ship straight. I wanted to calm things down, center it, focus it, get us back on an action plan, and deliver on that. I feel I was able to do that and hand off a much more somber town, I'd say, to Mayor Puzio. And something that I look back at that was really a turning point in my life. So that's what led me here, standing here right now today, was to, again, to step up and help my town. I'm not doing this for any type of agendas, vendettas, witch hunts. I want to do this because I've lived here my entire life since 1966. My family has been here since 1962. Fell in love with my wife. This family goes back to the mining days, and I love Rockaway. And I don't believe that's the Rockaway that I remember as in my youth. And I want to see that come back. How will I do that? By being part of a team. The Rockaway First Team. As I said before, you're at the crossroads. Who has the training, the education, the diligence to bring the town back to where it is? I'm fortunate enough to be on a team of business and civic leaders. Everyone who's going to give of their time with very, very busy schedules, all of us, but because we love the town and we want to contribute what we have to make it a better place for all of you. I truly believe that the Rockaway First Team is capable of doing that. You know, during my day job, my entire life is surrounded by creating something for my 23 salespeople to deliver to their customers. Taking a vision, turning it into reality, making it profitable, valuable, and leaving their life a little better than before myself and my team saw them. That's what I do all day. That's what I've done for 30 years. That's what I've done the last 20 years as a sales manager. And that's what I want to do for Rockaway. want to get involved with the entire council and of course the mayor, get us all together again as one solid team and work towards the common goal, create the action plan and deliver on that within a specific timeline. I've heard a lot of your concerns out there. I know, again, the ball fields come to play a lot, the streets come to play a lot. These are all, again, these are things that should have been taken care of over the years but haven't. So immediately, we have to take the priorities, we need to deliver on the promises that we made for you, and we need to do this in a specific time frame. Again, with a specific team, all going for the same goal, I know that we can accomplish that. Now please understand that just because I'm a member of a team, much like the teams I'm involved with at work, we don't always agree. We all agree on the common goal. How we get there is, again, where each individual's talents, ideas, and visions come to play, so we all come together with your best interests at heart. So again, I had the opportunity to see Rockaway from the inside out as interim mayor. I've had the opportunity to be on a team of business and civic professionals. Now I'd like to take that and work for you. I hope that you'll vote for myself and my Rockaway First team on November 5th. Thank you.
Next is Howard Kritz.
Good evening. My name is Howard Kritz and I'm running for the position of council at large. Pat, thank you for putting this on. I have an enormous sense of pride when I get to tell my family that I've been invited to speak here. And my son looks at me with a little bit of admiration and says, you know what, that's really cool. You think they'll have cookies again? I successfully ran in the primary on the Rockaway First ticket along with Mayor Puzio, Joe Jackson, and Adam Salberg. I want to thank you for your support. We're also very happy to have Mary Noon with us as part of the Rockaway First team now as well. My volunteerism has always been in recreation. I've been a director in the Rockets football and cheer program for many years now. In my tenure there, we've made the program into a real family-friendly environment by purchasing padded helmets for our flag players, expanding the food menu, improving the sound system, enhancing the scoreboard, refurbishing the announcer's booth, painting the midfield with a nice big new RT logo, and adding a 35-foot-long inflatable tunnel and helmet that each Rocket player and cheerleader gets to run through before the game. We were able to do all this by fundraising at the program level without asking any parents for fundraising assistance. The program keeps growing, and now Peterson is a destination during home games for friends and family to come and have fun. I'm a senior manager with CVS in charge of online fulfillment. My job is to direct orders once they've been placed. I am responsible for overseeing a staff responsible for tens of thousands of orders placed daily to ensure they are filled correctly and completely from one of our 99 fulfillment centers spread out across the country and delivered on time at the lowest cost. I have extensive experience in retail management and fulfillment operations. It's my job to make sure that the best result is derived at the lowest cost and on time. I know how to get things accomplished in a challenging environment and I want to take that experience and translate it to our town's needs. I'm also the director for 5th and 6th grade boys basketball. I've coached football, wrestling, basketball, t-ball, and soccer. I love being extensively involved with our town rec programs, and I want to expand my volunteerism to our local government. I think that our taxes are too high. So say something like that, it's really easy, it makes a great catch line, it looks great on a sign, but the path to alleviating that burden is not as clear cut. I have 4 young kids, and I love living in Rockaway. I want to be able to afford living here and be able to give my family what they deserve, but at what cost? A large portion of our taxes go to education. Now, with 4 kids in the public school system, probably getting my money's worth, but is there an opportunity to reduce the taxes here? I can't in good faith promise that I will lower taxes. What I can promise is that I will work tirelessly with the administration and school districts and try to address any cost-saving opportunities. I'd like to have a review of our budget to see how we can save money while keeping the same level of standards and services. I know Peterson Field has been a major topic of discussion for a long time. I'd like to work with the council and administration to address needed upgrades and repairs there sooner rather than later. I know extensive work has been done regarding the Peterson improvements. I'd like to work with the engineers and see how we can address the opportunities to better our facilities, most importantly at a reasonable cost. I think very highly of Mr. Sackett and the team he's assembled. But what they're offering is what Mayor Puzio has already begun. As part of the mayor's team, I will be in a position to help the current administration continue the work that they've already started. We're at a crossroads. There's no need to rehash the drama that's gripped us the past 2 years. But we've already started back on the path of progress, and I want to continue that work for you. I'm sick and tired of local politics being a spectator sport. I'm tired of the mudslinging. I'm tired of the name calling, both on Facebook and forums, and even in the council meetings. I want to restore dignity and your faith in local government, but to do that, we need people aligned with our mayor's vision. If elected, I will deliver on my promise, not to just comprehensively review cost-saving opportunities in an attempt to reduce our taxes, but to start rebuilding your faith in your community and truly putting Rockaway first. My name is Howard Kritz, and I'm running for council.